evening, everyone, and welcome to the Michigan Science Center and to the inaugural STEM Vision Awards. We are very excited to have you all with us here in this space tonight at the Michigan Science Center, where we celebrate a love of learning through science, technology, engineering, and math. And tonight, we get to celebrate those who are really, really good at showing us why imagination is the key to innovation. And imagination requires a little space to play. So we're really happy to have this event here at the Michigan Science Center. We are extremely grateful for our presenting sponsors of ITC, who value what the next generation is bringing to the table, empowering our world with new inventions and new innovation, and our partners, Detroit Public Television, because this is the way we will tell the world about all of the amazing things that all of our winners are doing this evening. So with that, we are going to get started, and I am very, very pleased to introduce to you all our host for this evening. He is a Detroit native and perhaps has one of the coolest names, because his name actually is gorgeous. I'll let you decide about whether or not that fits. Most people think so. So Eric Gorgeous is a native Detroiter, known for doing amazing things. Started out as an IT guy, very, very successful. Had one of those life moments that puts you in touch with where your passions ought to be, and he decided to move away from that and get back to his heart, which, of course, as a Detroiter, is building stuff. So first, well known for voodoo choppers. If you don't know, Google it. You've got to see these amazing bikes. And now he is bringing us all back to understanding why building stuff, making stuff, putting our hands on stuff is really, really important through Detroit Public Television's The Craftsman's Legacy. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the podium Mr. Eric Gorgeous.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I'm Eric Gorgeous. I host A Craftsman's Legacy on PBS, and I build motorcycles. I'm also your host tonight. But you're probably wondering exactly why a tall guy who's got a bunch of tattoos is here to talk about science, technology, engineering, and math, STEM. It's because I use it every single day. It is so important to what I do for a living. I almost didn't even realize it because, quite honestly, I was a horrible student. I wasn't good at all. I didn't pay attention. I didn't care at the time. But as I got older and I realized what I wanted to do for a living, and when I decided that I wanted to work with my hands for a living and build motorcycles, I really needed to understand what went into doing that. I wasn't happy just buying parts. I wanted to make the parts myself. But I needed to understand the science behind it, the physics involved, the load, the energy. I needed to use math to calculate volume and capacities. I use technology all the time because I look everything up online. And obviously engineering is so important because if you're making a frame, you need to make sure the geometry's straight and it's going to roll down the road properly. And on television, I use it because when I'm talking to other craftsmen that are working, I want to understand what they're doing. So it's incredibly important to me. And I'm really excited to be here tonight. So I'm going to welcome Kibi Glover. She's going to perform a poem for us tonight.
Woohoo! Thank you for having me. Congratulations to the nominees and the winners. That will surely be announced. This poem I'll do, we're going to title it Imagination, because that is potentially what the concept is all about. And just to keep pursuing your dreams, you're going to approach obstacles. It's going to become a challenge, but just keep pushing, knowing that your end result will be worth it. I'm driven by this imagination. I have these desires that have been placed on my heart and my mind. My mind is constantly manifesting what I have determined are my now moments. You see, I'm walking in divine purpose, and even down to my last dime, I am sure that I am built for, I am made for some unbelievable things. I am supernaturally constructed. And if they thought Picasso paintings were something, just wait till they see God's illustrations on my goals. I'm prepared to paint pictures of excellence and Lord knows, not of perfection, but with this inspiration, my determination is not comparable to that of a quitter. I figure. This path that I'm on is ordained for me. You see, right now I work at Art Van Furniture, and naturally, all people may see is commission sales. Some may say foolish of me for leaving a high-paid salary, but I say to them, oh well. Oh well, if I wasn't filled with fear, I may jump out and dare to do the things that I actually desire. It takes way too much money to make money, so I'll sit here and wait for money naysayers. When I retire, I look forward to my days of rest while I'm seeking opportunities where I can help the rest. Those stuck in areas of their life that I managed to swim out of. I could have drowned many times with the mistakes that I made, but one thing I never lost or I never let go of was my faith. And I've been celibate for a while now. You know, that makes me bait, and it's not because of the way that I look. It's because the time I spent with God makes it look like I've received something. Spirit of God is attractive. And so I'll keep this repellent against my flesh in case my flesh gets weak. I've got to be proactive. Can't go relying on my own reactions. And in his word, he says he'll keep me strong. So tell your neighbor they can criticize me all they want. I'm going to take it as a compliment. For me, it's not often when I'm doing the right thing and I can go unnoticed. I say, let them talk about me. The more that they speak of me, that's blessings. Heaven's gates are opening. That's the overflow, and that's what I know. That's why my state of mind is focused. And you can note this poem as a declaration. I'm facing every giant that's in my path, and I'm not going to stop until I have had enough. I'm looking to live a life where I can save souls. I want to see dreams and goals that'll come to pass. So anytime they look at me and they ask, Kibi, how are you living this life? How do you keep the smile that you have? I look them in the eye. And I tell them, driven by this imagination, I have these desires that have been placed on my heart. And my mind is constantly manifesting what I have determined are my now moments. I mean, like right now. Thank you so much, you guys.
Thank you, that was wonderful. Next up, I'd like to introduce our keynote speaker for tonight, Amber Young. I was reading over this bio earlier, and it's truly amazing the accomplishments that she's already had in her young age. Amber Young is the lead life science researcher in Ecotech Lab. She started in the Ecotech Lab program while in 5th grade. Her career goal is to use her understanding and skills in biochemistry to develop a cure for Alzheimer's disease. Amber has worked at STEM projects with senior staff at the Henry Ford Medical Center, Trinity Health, Astrand Biosciences, Walter Reed Medical Center, and the Johns Hopkins University Medical Center. She has shared her experiences in science innovation with people around the world, from meeting with world leaders at the United Nations headquarters regarding ways to improve access to health care for developing countries, to working with young in Cape Town, South Africa, to develop ways to combat climate change. Amber is the founder of Brain Trust, a not-for-profit research think tank involved in helping gather and analyze best practices related to treating a range of neurological disorders. While in the 10th grade, she was selected as the #1 intern in the brain science program at Johns Hopkins University. Amber attends Cranbrook Kingswood Upper School, Upon graduation from high school, she will attend the University of Maryland, Baltimore County, as a Meyerhoff Scholar to pursue an MD, PhD degree. Let's take a look at the short video which chronicles Amber's interest in science.
Hello, my name is Amber Young. I'm in the 8th grade and I attend Detroit Edison Public School Academy. My current GPA is a 4.0. On the Explore exam, I scored an 18, which placed me in the 85th percentile in the country. When I grow up, I would like to be a pediatric neurosurgeon. In this video biography, you will see some of the work that I do in Ecotech Lab. I started with the Ecotech program in the 5th grade. One of the first projects that I did involved bacteriology. Bacteria are single-celled organisms that can be found in water, soil, and air. In my experiment, I developed an organic hand sanitizer that kills bacteria without the use of alcohol. To learn more about the brain, I did a research project on short-term memory and neurothermatics. The brain has 3 main parts: the cerebrum, cerebellum, and the brainstem. During the research project, I dissected a sheep brain and examined the hippocampus, which controls memory. To further my learning in neurology, each year I participate in the International Brain Bee. It is a competition that tests your knowledge on the anatomy of the brain. My most interesting project to date has been on regenerative medicine. During this project, I extracted, cultured, and grew autologous mouse stem cells in the lab. After doing my research and lab experiments, I presented my work at the International Stem Cell Summit. I have been able to use my knowledge of science, math, technology, and social studies to create a product called Biotech in a Box. It is a science kit that shows young scientists how to isolate DNA from organic material. One requirement of being in Ecotech Lab is that you must participate in a job shadow or internship. In 2010, I had 2 wonderful job shadowing positions. My first position was at Astorand, a global human tissue banking company.
Hello, I am in the histology department, and right in front of me I have a microtome, and the microtome is a material that is used to slice the tissue in whatever they are studying. This is the chuck that brings the tissue forward to be cut over the razor.
While in Ecotech, I have participated in many competitions. In 2008, I won the Wayne County Regional Round of the You Be the Chemist Challenge, which is a national chemistry contest for students in grades 5th through 8th. In 2011, Annie Moore and I won honorable mention at the United Nations Global Conference in New York City for our work on establishing a global epidemic tracking system. During my visit to the UN, I met with diplomats from Germany, Spain, and Canada. I also learned how to speak German and how to translate it into English.
My name is Amber Young, and I am interpreting for Darius from German to English.
Guten Tag, darf ich mich vorstellen?
Good day, may I introduce myself?
Ich heiße Darius Franks.
I am called Darius Franks.
Ich lebe in Detroit.
I live in Detroit.
Ich bin 14 Jahre alt.
I am 14 years old.
Wir leben.
Another program that I have been a part of is Mini Med School, which is sponsored by the University of Michigan Medical Center. During the program, I attend lectures that are led by physicians on a wide range of topics, such as neurology, endocrinology, and cardiology. To help me understand the impact of global warming, I traveled to Cape Town, South Africa. While there, I did field work at Edith wetlands to learn how native plants are being affected by the increase in surface temperature.
All right, Amber, I'm going to give you the last word. I mean, what do you think about the crime rate and kids saying that they don't have enough food to eat in the city of Detroit? Do you think we can change that?
I think we can change the crime rates because really people, when they think they have to do crime, is when they think that there is no other way out. But that's not the actual way you should think. And education is what will guide you through whether, yes, you can have a home, yes, you can have food, and yes, you can have a job, or even create your own job and be an entrepreneur. Amber Young. So that was me about 5 years ago in the Fox 2 News interview. And so the question was, if we wanted to create a new city, what would we include? And that was my answer. Reducing the crime rates, increasing rates of education, and literacy rates. So I'm sure you're wondering, for a person at that age with that capacity and potential, where are they now? So right now I'm a graduating high school senior, and I'll be attending University of Maryland, Baltimore County in the fall with an intended major in biochemistry on the pre-med route to become a neurologist. And so my story is the creation of momentum. And it began long ago before I could stand before you here today. I've always had a deep passion for science and learning about different fields in science that included astronomy, geology, ecology, and I realized that I really enjoyed learning about human physiology and the dynamics of life. So when I was 9 years old, I told my dad that I wanted to be a doctor. And my dad believed in that dream and chased that dream with me to make it reality. So he opened a lab called Ecotech Lab. And so by the age of 10, I began studying neurology, and I was inspired by Dr. Ben Carson's story that I read in Gifted Hands, which explains his rise from humble beginnings to becoming a world-renowned pediatric neurosurgeon. So I explored different routes and different ways in science, and I was very fascinated by every aspect of science that I learned. And so now I'm here today. And today I'm going to talk to you about how to develop the new generation of innovators and thinkers. But first, I want to tell you a little bit more about me. Let's see here. Sorry, just went through. Okay, here we go. So my background starts with different areas in STEM that include stem cell research, tissue engineering, bioinformatics, and also neuroscience. To give you a few examples, in the years of 2012 to 2013, I worked as a summer intern at University of Pittsburgh Tissue Engineering Initiative, where I learned how to culture new stem cells, which are self-renewal cells that can differentiate into different tissues and organs, and that can replace damaged tissue cells. So I worked there during those years. In 2013 to 2014, I worked at the University of Michigan's bioinformatics program, where I learned how to use computer databases to track the genetic linkages of diseases such as cystic fibrosis and muscular dystrophy. More recently, I also worked as a summer intern at the Johns Hopkins School of Medicine in the neuropathology department, where I learned how to analyze Alzheimer's disease using mice models. So the three main hallmarks of Alzheimer's disease that I studied included the tau tangles and the amyloid plaques that build up in the brain that ultimately results in neuron loss. So I presented all of my research to the faculty of Johns Hopkins and was voted as the #1 neurologist of the Johns Hopkins Brain Science Internship Program. More recently, last year, I worked as a summer intern at Walter Reed, where I studied chemical and drug abuse and how that affects the brain. I also worked at the University of Michigan Nanofabrication Lab, where I developed a biosensor for the early detection of breast cancer. And I also worked as an intern at Trinity Health System, where I learned how to operate and manage hospitals and the Trinity Health Network, and how to implement new softwares to update hospitals to federal use regulations around the country. So that's my story in science. And it starts with finding your own story, finding what you like to do, and following after that. As I go through the conversation and we see the presentation, think about what it means to have an imagination, to have a dream. So I'm going to tell you more about Ecotech. So why are students underperforming in science is the question that many people wonder in cities and especially in other urban communities like Detroit. It's not that students can't do science. It's not that they're not aptable for it. It's just how they're exposed to it. Just as the saying goes, you're a product of your environment. The students may not be exposed to science, and really science is the basis of investigating and analyzing and finding your own solutions, which encourages you to think. And students may be more used to receiving instructions and not thinking for themselves. And these different qualities that are needed for science is what's necessary and what's missing. So inadequate resources also includes as a result of this. There needs to be more resources in the schools to encourage students to apply what they know and to come up with new solutions to think forward. And I think when you create that space for people to imagine and for people to develop new ideas and products, that's how you come up with your new researchers and your new innovators and new geniuses. Changing the culture. When I worked as a summer intern at Johns Hopkins, the best advice I received from my mentor, Dr. Philip Wong, was to change the culture about how science is viewed. Change the way that science is viewed in your community. He told me that based on all of the experiences that I've had in science, I have this responsibility bestowed upon me to be a role model to other people in my community and also to encourage STEM to youth around the world. So changing the culture and the way science is viewed is very important. And I think that science shouldn't be viewed as a way that's negative or something that's geeky, but it can be something that can be useful when people understand how it can be applied to everyday life. And I think that starts in the classroom and with the youth. And the more that you work with the younger students, the more you can mold them into what they can be in the future. Thinking globally. Thinking globally is very important to opening your world outside of the classroom and understanding how does this fit for others that are not like you or that may live in a different place. So every year in Ecotech, we travel to the United Nations headquarters in New York City, where we meet with UN ambassadors from member countries such as Peru, Comoros, China, Guinea, and Argentina. And we talk about different topics that are going around the world, such as access to healthcare and medication. So on behalf of the World Health Organization, I met with these different world ambassadors within Ecotech Lab program, and I talked about how these different methods of implementing different millennium goals, which are the main goals that are beheaded by the World Health Organization, that includes eradicating poverty, access to drinkable water, and access to women's rights in healthcare, that is actually a goal for the world globally. And I think this is the way that should be encouraged in the classroom as well. How can you help the person that lives next door? Start locally, but also understand that you must think globally to have a bigger impact on other people's lives. Encouraging innovation starts with encouraging ingenuity. Encourage new ideas and new ways and new perspectives of thinking, because sometimes you may think that, okay, this is not original to our usual technique or our protocol, but sometimes a new idea may create a better solution. So here's an example of a project that I did to study how to hydrolyze starch and how the body breaks down starch and better ways to improve that for people that suffer from diabetes and other health conditions. And at first, when I found the solution to it, I didn't think there was a new protocol or a new way to do it. But really, innovations are not just new products, but also new ideas or new methods of finding solutions. So this one is an example of a new methodology that I came up with for finding out how to hydrolyze starch in people that have difficult times doing that. And so this can be useful years down the line, and this may be useful for many other research that may be going forward for diabetes and also diseases of that kind. But it starts with questioning what do you know, what's missing, and how to go forward. So it starts with doing prior background knowledge and research, which is heavily encouraged as well, but also understanding that there are gaps in the knowledge that we know right now and that there's more room for progress. And so I gave a TEDx talk recently about last year about my research in neurology and also about my research about new innovations as well, and encouraging youth around the world to join the movement towards STEM. Play to win is a slide, one of my favorite slides, because in Ecotech, it's required to compete. You have to be competitive. You have to put your skills to the test, basically. So this is an example of Elena Bayless, one of our former member students who participated in the You Be the Chemist Challenge, which you all heard of in the video. And this is a chemistry competition for students in grades 5 through 8 to basically understand basic chemistry applications and protocols and the history of chemistry. And so this really tests your knowledge and your nature to compete with others to learn and to be the best that you can be. And I think that's heavily encouraged We also participate in other competitions, such as the Brain Bee, which you saw in the video. The Motor City Spelling Bee was another program that was hosted by Ecotech in the past. We also participate in the U of M Mini Medical School. And so the Mini Med School is not exactly the same competitive nature, but it is available to listen to different lectures from physicians at U of M and to learn about their research and ongoing research in the future for different aspects in life science. And also, exploring and investigating is just as important as going in the classroom. You have to go outside of the classroom. You have to travel, and you have to learn about what's going on around the world. So in Ecotech, we do a lot of that. Here you can see in the image of students in Bear Cave, which is in the western part of Michigan, and studying the different life that survives in the caves and the different chemical residues that come from the caves that form into limestone, which forms into different rock formations that you may see. So students travel to different caves. We've also had students travel to Mount St. Helens in the past summer. Students went to hike to Mount St. Helens as well, and they collected volcanic rock, which they tested in Argonne National Lab, which is a national lab in Illinois, where they tested for different chemical compositions. So we do a lot of traveling. You've also heard about the Cape Town, South Africa trip, where that was a globe expedition, where I spent the summer learning about climate change and how we can combat carbon emissions in the air. So I did that when I was around 9 years old. So we continue to travel in Ecotech, and we continue to explore and to learn many different ways that are going on that fits to the natural world. So we're not just lab rats, but we're also challenging ourselves and moving outside of the lab to understand how this can apply to the natural world around us. And so whatever our research that we conduct, it doesn't either harm the world either. And that's important too. So even though this is the conclusion of my short presentation, this is the start of something new for me and also for all of you, to reflect on what you're interested in, to reflect on what you want to achieve in your life, and to go back to the idea of imaginations and dreams. What do you want to be? Who do you want to affect? You don't have forever to do it, so why not start today? Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
What an amazing story. Stay up here for a sec. I'd like to invite Sean Phillips. He's the Vice President of Education and Engagement at the Michigan Science Center. He's going to present you an award.
Amber, on behalf of the Michigan Science Center, we would like to present you with the 2016 STEM Vision Rising Star Award.
Congratulations. Now we're here tonight to celebrate 4 visionaries in the field of science, technology, engineering, and math. Some have been in the field for a while, and some of them are just starting out. The awards will be given to 2 adults and 2 students who exemplify the STEM vision. All recipients have received a nomination via an online system and were selected by representatives from the Michigan Science Center. Right now, I'd like to ask all the finalists to please stand. Now to present our first award is Alberta Tinsley Talabi.
Good evening. And wow, Amber, you go. I'm Alberta Tinsley Talabi, State Representative And I am here to present the next award recipient, who is Chandler Harris, who is a rising STEM star, which recognizes the best and brightest STEM minds, not in Detroit, not in Michigan, but in America, that America has to offer. Chandler Harris is a student scientist at the Ecotech Lab program. He has been involved in doing hands-on research in material science, bioenergy, and civil engineering since the 6th grade. He currently attends Detroit Edison Early College of Excellence and is a resident of the city of Detroit. Chandler Harris is a solid person and has a strong vision in science, technology, engineering, and math. Chandler spent his middle school and high school years working on ways to reduce the impact of global warming. He has partnered with researchers at MIT to develop oil-eating cement. Chandler has also leveraged his understanding of alternative energy and biology to develop a variety of biofuels. He has shared his innovations with world leaders at the United Nations and researchers at the National Renewable Energy Laboratory. Chandler has received many awards. Most recently, he was selected to receive the MSTEM scholarship from the University of Michigan School of Engineering for his research on designing earthquake-resistant building structures. While in Ecolab, Chandler has conducted workshops on STEM-related topics for youth and adults in and around the city of Detroit. He has also tutored students in Ecotech Lab on research and projects related to material science, environmental engineering, and robotics. Chandler is the founder of Harris Engineering, a for-profit company that specializes in developing more sustainable materials for civil engineering applications. In the fall of 2016, Chandler will attend the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Chandler Harris as the 2016 STEM Vision Rising Star Award recipient.
Thank you. That is awesome. Congratulations. Now please welcome Gina Coleman from PNC. She's here to announce the winner of the STEM Catalyst Award.
Good evening. The next award recipient is Melissa Hellberg, who is receiving the STEM Catalyst Award, which recognizes an outstanding role model who inspires excellence and innovation in STEM. Melissa is an 11th grade biology teacher and in the science department lead teacher at Voyager College Prep High School in Southwest Detroit. This school year, Melissa launched the school's first AP biology course and started the school's first robotics team, where their students went on to win the Rookie Inspiration Award, Rookie All-Star Award, and qualified for the states. This summer, she will work with the robotics team along with a collaboration with GM to design a rainwater collection system to be used at the Cadillac Urban Garden in Southwest Detroit. Melissa has been in love with science and has been a self-proclaimed nerd for as long as she can remember. She attended the University of Michigan for both her bachelor's and master's degrees. She has seen firsthand what wonderful careers are possible within STEM, and her goal is to bring her passion to science to all her students. She has been involved with other school initiatives, such as STEM Career Days for students to meet other STEM professionals, and fundraisers to provide every scholar with a calculator. Melissa makes the word nerd in her class a point of pride. Her STEM vision is for all her students to be successful and excited about STEM. She puts her heart into bringing opportunities to her kids so they can see how fulfilling a STEM career can be and will leave her classroom with the necessary skills and knowledge to pursue those opportunities. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Melissa Helberg as the 2016 STEM Vision Catalyst Award recipient.
Congratulations, Melissa. That's fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Tanya Matthews to present the STEM Excellence Award.
The STEM Excellence Award recognizes an individual who has utilized STEM to form a lasting impact on the greater Michigan Midwest region. The recipient of the STEM Excellence Award this evening is April Kozowski. April is a biochemistry doctoral candidate at Wayne State University School of Medicine. Her research is focused on the rare neurodegenerative disease, Friedreich's ataxia. Friedreich's ataxia is caused by a deficiency in the protein frataxin, which involves the iron-sulfur cluster assembly pathway. This is the bio they gave me. As a young girl, April, who grew up in a town with less than 1,500 people, never imagined that she would be dining with Nobel laureates or working on projects with members of the National Academy of Sciences. April is passionate about encouraging younger generations from all backgrounds to explore STEM fields. April's STEM vision is to increase diversity in the STEM workforce by using adults to serve as strong role models for our future scientists, technologists, engineers, and mathematicians. April believes that if we act now, we can achieve even representation of the genders and minorities in STEM, securing our world's future prosperity. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming April Kozowski as the 2016 STEM Vision Excellence Award recipient.
Our next presenter is the corporate sponsor of today's event and is here to present the next award for Rising STEM Star. Please welcome Gregory Ioannidis of ITC Holdings.
Thank you, Eric. It's a pleasure to be here this evening. STEM is very important to ITC, and we're certainly proud to be a sponsor of this evening's event and working alongside fabulous partners like the Michigan Science Center and Detroit Public Television. So, the last awards recipient is Aditi Mahajan, who is the Rising STEM Star, which recognizes the best and brightest STEM minds America has to offer. Aditi Mahajan is currently a junior at the International Academy East in Troy, Michigan. Aditi started the program, The Girl Code, as a quick and easy way for kids to learn how to code. And moreover, it's taught from the point of view of another kid, that is Aditi herself, which she hopes makes it easier to understand. She is involved with assisting young students through a program called Summer in the City. She has recognized the need to help other students learn to code in order to help open doors for their futures. This spring, Aditi has been working with Carver STEM Academy through the DPS collaboration. Her STEM vision is to create a series of coding videos in order to educate young children, especially girls, on how to code. She believes that coding will continue to be vital for the future and that it is a necessity for people to learn it. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Aditi Mahajan as the 2016 STEM Vision Rising Star recipient. Congratulations, Aditi.
Here to introduce the next segment of tonight's programming is Detroit Public Television's President and CEO, Rich Homburg.
Good evening, and I'm humbled. I don't know about the grown-ups in the room. How overwhelming are these people? Congratulations, honestly, it's stunning, your stories. Amber, Amber's father's here somewhere, right? Good. We met years ago, and you were telling me about this thing called Ecotech. And what a stunning story. Just congratulations. And Kibi, I think you should come to my house and recite that poem every day. Can you imagine how much better we'd do every day if we could just... And Alberta's here, and the last time we had breakfast at the DAC, and you brought a youngster with you, and you think about the power of parents and how Amber's father opened doors and the teachers that are here. And honestly, it's breathtaking. When we do things like this, I always walk away thinking the grown-ups, this grown-up in particular, probably learned as much as anyone in the room and was just inspired all. Tomorrow I'm going to work harder because I heard about all of you. So just honest, from the bottom of my heart, congratulations. We're thrilled to be involved with the Michigan Science Center in this STEM initiative. It's terrific. It's important. If you think about the need in our community, right, around jobs, around future jobs, around the need for technology, but just as important, the resources in our community. As a region, we tell the whole country all the time, we have some of the best technology minds in the country in Detroit. It's all here. And we go on and on about how we make cars and logistics and supply chain management and our great medical schools and all the research we do. Let's marry them. And if we can bring together the resources of Southeast Michigan and the students and young people of Southeast Michigan, what a remarkable opportunity. So a couple things we're doing around that. One is a connected learning piece around bringing together institutions like this and audiences. We're in the audience business, it turns out. They're in the museum business. They're in the science center business. And so we're working hard to earn our place there. And we're creating some television. So this next Tuesday, I'm always bad on the details at this point because I lose my mind thinking about you people. We want you to join us next Tuesday at 7:30. Laura, right? She just shook her head. Monday, like I said, Monday at 7:30. I knew I was getting. Tuesday is Detroit Performs. Monday is our STEM show. We're gonna highlight 4 STEM leaders from Southeast Michigan, including Mary Barra, the CEO from General Motors, and a terrific show, an outcome of a couple of events we've done, some television we produced, and we hope you'll enjoy it, and we hope you'll join us. We're committed to this. We're about 2 years into this effort. Last year we started Connected Learning and we're picking up momentum. How do we bring all of those amazing resources and all of you amazing folks to one place and build a better community together? So we want to show you a piece from Mary Barra, the GM CEO, and she'll give you a little insight into the show. So thanks, congratulations. And Kibi, my son, 22 years old. Is it too late? Dating something, so congratulations. Enjoy the clip, thanks.
If we expect our industry to thrive well into the future, we have to provide solutions.
I'm confident no matter what you want to do, having a strong science and math background and understanding technology is going to better prepare you to work in that area that you love, and once you love it, that can mean every day is fun. Even in the early years of my schooling, I always just thought math was fun. It's probably part of my personality, but I think it's neat when you get a bunch of inputs or conditions and then you have to figure out what the best answer is. It's kind of like it's solving a puzzle. And so when my parents realized that, they both really encouraged me to push myself and see what I could do. Fortunately, I went to General Motors Institute, which is now Kettering University, and we had a co-op program. So I got to work and see what engineers did, and then go back to school and know that that's what I wanted to study. And so that's really what helped me. Engineers do so many things. I worked in the areas where we design vehicles. I worked in the area where we did engineering and validation. I worked in the area where we, actually assembled the vehicles. And all of those areas, there were engineers doing many different things. And so I realized if I had an engineering degree, and I'm specifically an electrical engineer, that I could work across a wide array of things. And I loved all of them. And that's when I also learned I love the car business. One of the really interesting things that I learned in this role that surprised me is when people would come up to me and say, hey, because you're in this role, it has convinced my daughter or my sister or someone that they know that they see somebody in the role that they believe they can do it too, and therefore they're following a STEM background. And that to me is the most rewarding, that simply because when people see people like them, they believe they can do it too, and I believe they can as well. At General Motors, we are big believers in education because we think that is such an important component for every child. And so we do a lot of work. We do work with FIRST Robotics. We do work with World in Motion. And I've even had the opportunity to go spend time with a third, fourth grader. And when I ask them, what do you want to be when you grow up? No matter what they say, it's got a connection to STEM. Because if you look at industry today, there's not an industry that isn't being impacted or disrupted or transformed by technology. One of the things that's great about World in Motion is, and FIRST Robotics as well, is they get to actually make something. So it's not just people talking at them or reading about it. They get to make something, they get to see how it works, they get to change it. And so, they're really understanding the foundational principles of physics or many other aspects of engineering. So I think when they actually get to do something and then they get to make changes and see how they make things better, that's exciting, and that's where I see them, get really excited, and also the little competitions help as well. The teenagers, the boys and girls, or the young adults that are either in K through 12 or in going to college right now, they are our future. They will be the people that come in and help us really redefine transportation. In the world of transportation, we believe we will see more change in the next 5 years than we've seen in the last 50. And so it's vitally important that we have people who can help us create that new world and that new transformation. The whole way people get from point A to point B is being transformed or disrupted. And technology is a key piece of all that, whether you talk about electric vehicles or increased connectivity or autonomous driving, all of which require very strong STEM backgrounds to really create the future. So it is an extremely exciting time to be at General Motors right now, and we're always looking for great engineers to join the company, and so it will fuel our success. Right now, for some of the technologies we're putting out, engineers have dreamed up a vision that they want to create and then actually gone in and done the engineering to create an actual physical property that does that. A great example of that is the Bolt, or the fact that we have 4G LTE in our vehicles and have connectivity. The fact that you can use your smartphone and beep the horn or unlock your vehicle or start it. Those are all things that somebody said, I wonder if I can do this. And then they use their education and their degree to make it happen. So clearly, if you're sitting in high school today thinking about what you're going to do, an engineering career or a science, math, and computer science, those are all great fields that we're going to desperately need and will provide exciting careers for in the future.
ITC, connecting consumers to their 21st century energy needs, and a proud supporter of STEM education on Detroit Public Television.
There really are so many possibilities and so many careers available in STEM, and it's really just about exposure. So make sure to tune in on Monday, the 23rd at 7:30 to watch the special STEM Heroes on Detroit Public Television. We're going to profile 4 different women and look at the career possibilities. Next up, I'd like to introduce my side junior docent, Aaron Carter. He's going to talk about his love of science. He's getting ready. Just give him some time. I dig this room, by the way. I haven't been here in forever. I didn't think I'd have to ad-lib quite this much, honestly. I'll be honest, I didn't have any jokes or anything prepared. He's rocking. All right, let's give him a hand. All right, buddy.
Hi, my name is Aaron Carter, and during the 2014 to 2015 school year, I attended University Preparatory Science Math Middle School, and I was a part of the Junior Docents Program for the Science Center. Today in front of me, I have the Van de Graaff. It is pretty simple. It includes a generator operates a small motor helping to spin a rubber band. As the band rotates within the column, it passes by a small metal grid which helps deposit a negative charge on the dome. If you were to touch the dome, the electrons would jump and shock you because you are neutrally charged. This similar experiment can be conducted by rubbing your socks on the carpet and touching a doorknob. And today, when you spin this, and you put this here, you get a charge. And if you touch it, it can shock you, but it won't really hurt you. Not that bad. See? Doesn't really hurt. Yep. Okay. And also, would there like to be any volunteers who would like to get on the stool and touch this? There? Okay. Uh-oh. Here you go. Oh, okay. So stand over here. Okay. So you can get on the stool just like this. No. With your knees just like this. Just like that. If you touch this, yep, just like that. You can touch your whole hand, both of your hands, both of them. And as you turn it, her hair is trying to move away from the electric charge, so you can see her hair slowly starting to go up. You can see strands of her hair from the back starting to go up as you slowly turn this. Thank you. And last but not least, okay, so here are packing peanuts. And if you put them like this, and you can turn this, they go everywhere, as you can see. Yep. Thank you.
Don't worry about it, man.
Thank you. Have a great evening. Thank you.
That stuff's pretty cool, honestly. So I'd like to welcome back Sean Phillips from the Michigan Science Center.
Thank you. So good evening. First thing I'd like to do is I would like to say thank you to Mr. Eric Gorgeous. Whether you guys think he's gorgeous or not, you can tell me later. But thank you for being our MC. Let's give him a round of applause. And then next, once again, I'd like all the finalists to please stand, as well as the keynote, as well as Kibi. And let's give them a round of applause for being a finalist and awardee. Thank you. I'd like to tell you a quick story. I remember when I was in elementary school, my teacher would always tell us, you guys are the future. You guys are the future generation. And as a kid, you would listen to that and just like, okay, whatever. It go in one ear, out the other. But as you get older, you start to realize that you are the future generation. And as today, being an adult, you really understand what they meant by those words. So students, what I want you to understand is that you are the future STEM workforce. It's important that you all continue to do what you're doing, and I think that being in this room, all the different finalists that are in here, you're doing the right thing in terms of getting to that strong STEM workforce that we desire. So if you're leaving with one thing from me, understand that you are the future generation. Adults, thank you very much for the support that you provide us. You provide the students with a lot of support, bringing them here today, and just even being their inspiration in everything that they need to do. So we want to thank you, adults, for everything that you do and everything that you continue to do. And a few thank yous. I want to thank the Detroit Public Television for the strong partnership who helped us to bring this all together. I'd like to thank the MySci, Michigan Science Center staff, who also were very supportive in making this come together. And of course, our corporate sponsors, ITC, for sponsoring this entire event. The Michigan Science Center, here at the Michigan Science Center, we want to make science fun for everyone, right? Doing events like this. But in order for us to do that, partnering is very, very important. So we look to partner with various organizations to have that strong impact if we want to reach the numbers that we want to reach. A good program, for example, is our STEManista program that focuses on girls between 4th and 8th grade. Partnering is one of the most important things for that program because we're able to bring everyone together to implement the programs for these different girls. And what I want to leave you guys with is just by saying thank you. It's very important that we all work together to be that strong impact that we want to be for the STEM workforce. Have a great evening. That does conclude the program.